Many seniors think they're making healthy choices, but some of the most common nuts found in kitchen cabinets can silently raise blood pressure, trigger inflammation, clog arteries, and even worsen cognitive decline. One particular nut that we'll reveal later has been linked to elevated levels of a toxic compound that accumulates over time and can damage your liver, kidneys, and brain function if consumed frequently. Yes, the same nut that's often recommended in low-carb diets could be doing irreversible harm to aging bodies, and it's probably in your snack jar right now. But don't worry, because in this video, we're breaking it all down. From the safest, heart-friendly, brain-boosting nuts you should be eating more of, to the ones you need to start avoiding immediately. This is your ultimate guide. Now, without any further ado, let's get started with the 4 nuts seniors should be eating. Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts earn the top position on our list because they address a critical yet often overlooked aspect of senior health: thyroid function. These remarkable nuts are the richest known food source of selenium, with just one nut containing 96 micrograms, which is 137% of your daily requirement. This matters tremendously because thyroid disorders affect up to 20% of people over 65, with many cases going undiagnosed as symptoms are often misattributed to normal aging. The selenium in Brazil nuts is essential for converting thyroid hormone into its active form, directly supporting energy production, metabolic function, and even mood regulation. Beyond thyroid support, Brazil nuts contain unique fatty acids that help maintain myelin, which is the protective coating around nerve cells that tends to deteriorate with age. This preservation of myelin may help seniors maintain better coordination, reaction time, and cognitive processing speed. What's particularly fascinating about Brazil nuts is that they provide a form of selenium that's organically bound and therefore more bioavailable than synthetic selenium supplements, meaning your body can utilize it more effectively. The rich, creamy texture of Brazil nuts also makes them satisfying even in small amounts, which is important since their potency means you need very few to reap benefits. In fact, I recommend seniors limit consumption to just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts daily, as excessive selenium can actually be counterproductive. When selecting Brazil nuts, choose those still in their shells when possible, as the natural packaging helps preserve the delicate nutrients longer. Store them in the refrigerator to prevent their high-fat content from turning rancid. For seniors who struggle with constipation, Brazil nuts offer additional benefits through their combination of fiber and natural oils that help maintain bowel regularity. Their naturally sweet, buttery flavor makes them an excellent replacement for less healthy snacks that many seniors turn to for comfort. Perhaps most impressive is emerging research suggesting that the specific antioxidants in Brazil nuts may help protect telomeres, which are the protective caps on chromosomes that typically shorten with age, potentially influencing how we age at the cellular level. Walnuts. Walnuts are perhaps the most impressive brain food available to seniors, and it's no coincidence that they physically resemble the very organ they protect, which is the brain. These remarkable nuts contain the highest amount of alpha-linolenic acid of any common nut, which is a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. This matters tremendously for aging brains because omega-3s help maintain the integrity of brain cell membranes and facilitate neurotransmission. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that seniors who consumed just 1.5 ounces of walnuts daily for 8 weeks showed significant improvements in cognitive processing speed and mental flexibility. The unique polyphenolic compounds in walnuts cross the blood-brain barrier to fight inflammation directly in neural tissues, potentially slowing the progression of conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. What many people don't realize is that walnuts also contain melatonin, which naturally decreases as we age, contributing to the sleep disturbances many seniors experience. By incorporating a small handful of walnuts into your evening routine, you may help regulate your sleep-wake cycle more effectively. Walnuts also provide impressive cardiovascular benefits through their combination of arginine, an amino acid that improves blood vessel function, and polyphenols that reduce oxidative stress. For seniors taking blood pressure medications, walnuts can actually complement these treatments by helping maintain arterial flexibility. To maximize benefits, store walnuts in the refrigerator to prevent their delicate oils from oxidizing, and aim to consume about 7 to 9 walnut halves daily. We also suggest cracking them yourself when possible, as the activity provides a gentle hand exercise that maintains fine motor skills. The slight bitterness in walnuts is actually a sign of their powerful antioxidants, so don't be deterred by this natural protective flavor. Almonds, the bone-strengthening powerhouse. Almonds stand as one of nature's most perfect foods for aging bodies, particularly because they contain remarkable amounts of calcium and vitamin E that work synergistically to maintain bone density. As we age, our bones naturally become more porous and fragile, making fractures increasingly dangerous. Just a quarter cup of almonds daily provides about 97 milligrams of calcium, which helps counteract the natural bone loss that accelerates after age 65. What makes almonds truly special isn't just their calcium content, but how they package it alongside magnesium, which many seniors are deficient in. This magnesium acts as a transport system, helping calcium actually reach your bones rather than settling in arteries where it can cause damage. The healthy monounsaturated fats in almonds also support heart health by helping reduce LDL cholesterol levels, which becomes increasingly important as cardiovascular risk rises with age. I recommend seniors consume about 15 to 20 almonds daily, preferably raw or dry roasted without added salt. The fiber content in almonds, about 3.5 grams per serving, also helps combat constipation, a common problem that affects nearly 40% of older adults. Perhaps most impressively, research from Tufts University shows that the unique antioxidant profile in almonds helps protect brain cells from oxidative damage, potentially slowing cognitive decline that many fear as they age. When purchasing almonds, look for those still in their skin, as the skin contains flavonoids that work with vitamin E to double the antioxidant power. Just be mindful that chewing almonds thoroughly is important, as they can pose a choking hazard for seniors with swallowing difficulties. Pistachios. Pistachios might be the most underappreciated nut when it comes to senior health, particularly for maintaining healthy blood pressure. What makes pistachios stand out is their exceptional potassium to sodium ratio, providing roughly 285 milligrams of potassium per serving while being naturally low in sodium. This mineral balance is particularly crucial for seniors, as it helps counteract the sodium-retaining tendencies that develop in aging kidneys, potentially reducing systolic blood pressure by 3 to 5 points, which is comparable to the effect of some prescription medications, but without side effects. The lutein and zeaxanthin in pistachios also deserve special mention, as these carotenoids specifically target the macula of the eye, which means that it protects against age-related macular degeneration, which is the leading cause of vision loss in people over 60. Unlike some harder nuts that might pose dental challenges for seniors, pistachios have a uniquely satisfying crunch while still being gentle on aging teeth and gums. Their distinctive green and purple hues aren't just visually appealing, they signal the presence of antioxidants that help neutralize the free radicals that accelerate aging throughout the body. There's also a practical aspect to pistachios that's perfect for seniors. The act of shelling them naturally slows down consumption, preventing overeating while providing a mindful eating experience that can be both meditative and stimulating for cognitive function. Research published in the International Journal of Obesity found that the visible empty shells serve as a visual cue of consumption, helping seniors better regulate their intake. For those with arthritis in their hands, look for pistachios that are partially opened, making them easier to access while still providing the benefits of the shelling process. Aim for about 49 pistachios daily, 1 ounce, preferably unsalted or lightly salted varieties. The fiber in pistachios, about 3 grams per ounce, also helps regulate blood sugar levels, particularly important for the 25% of Americans over 65 who have diabetes or prediabetes. Let's shift gears and talk about nuts that seniors might want to limit or approach with caution. Macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts, while delicious, represent one of the most problematic choices for seniors, primarily due to their extraordinary caloric density. At approximately 200 calories per ounce, they're the highest calorie nut available. This becomes especially concerning as metabolic rates naturally decline with age, making weight management increasingly challenging for older adults. Their extremely high fat content, about 22 grams per ounce, places additional strain on gallbladder function, which typically becomes less efficient as we age. For the estimated 15% of seniors who have asymptomatic gallstones, macadamias can trigger painful episodes that might otherwise remain dormant. Beyond their caloric impact, macadamias contain one of the highest proportions of saturated fat among nuts, around 3 grams per ounce, contributing to elevated LDL cholesterol levels, which is already a concern for many seniors. Their hardness and density also present significant dental risks for seniors with crowns, bridges, or weakened teeth, which is a common issue after 65 when years of wear and reduced calcium absorption can compromise dental strength. From a practical standpoint, macadamias are among the most expensive nuts, potentially leading budget-conscious seniors to purchase lower-quality versions that may be rancid or improperly stored, increasing exposure to harmful oxidized fats. Commercially available macadamias are often heavily salted and oil-roasted, adding unnecessary sodium and damaged fats to an already problematic nutritional profile. Their rich, buttery flavor can trigger overconsumption, especially for seniors who may have diminished taste sensitivity and therefore seek out stronger flavors. What's particularly concerning is that many seniors consume macadamias believing they're making a heart-healthy choice, not realizing that the studies supporting nut consumption for cardiovascular health specifically excluded or limited high-fat varieties like macadamias. So, if you've been enjoying macadamias regularly, consider transitioning to pistachios, which provide a similarly satisfying eating experience with a much better nutritional profile specifically suited to aging bodies. Peanuts. Despite their popularity, peanuts pose several risks that make them problematic for many seniors. First, it's important to understand that peanuts aren't true nuts at all but legumes that grow underground, making them particularly susceptible to mold and aflatoxins, which are naturally occurring mycotoxins produced by certain molds that can damage the liver and contribute to cancer risk when consumed regularly. This risk increases with age as the body's detoxification systems naturally become less efficient. Even more concerning for seniors, specifically, is that peanuts contain proteins that can trigger inflammatory responses in many people, even without a true allergy. This low-grade inflammation can exacerbate joint pain, increase cardiovascular stress, and even accelerate cognitive decline, which are 3 areas already vulnerable in aging adults. The high omega-6 fatty acid content in peanuts further contributes to this problem, as most Americans already consume far too many omega-6 relative to anti-inflammatory omega-3s. For seniors taking blood thinners like warfarin, the vitamin K in peanuts can interfere with medication efficacy, a dangerous interaction that many doctors fail to mention. Commercial peanut butters often compound these issues by adding hydrogenated oils, excess sodium, and sugars that further burden aging cardiovascular systems. Even natural peanut butter frequently contains added salt that can elevate blood pressure, which is already a concern for the 63% of American seniors with hypertension. Storage issues present another problem, as improperly stored peanuts develop rancidity that creates harmful free radicals. The typical dry roasting process used for most commercial peanuts also creates acrylamide, which is a compound that research suggests may accelerate cognitive decline, particularly concerning for those already worried about memory loss. If you've been enjoying peanuts without apparent issues, transitioning to one of our recommended nuts, even just 3 days per week, can start providing better nutritional benefits while reducing exposure to these problematic compounds. Pine nuts. Pine nuts claim the unfortunate position as the most problematic nut for seniors due to several serious concerns that directly impact older adults. Most alarmingly, they contain compounds that can interact with over 60% of commonly prescribed medications for seniors, potentially reducing drug efficacy or creating dangerous side effects. These interactions are particularly pronounced with blood pressure medications, statins, and certain antidepressants, which are all frequently prescribed to adults over 65. What makes this especially dangerous is that most physicians and pharmacists never warn patients about this food-drug interaction. Perhaps most concerning is pine mouth syndrome, which is a condition where pine nuts cause a persistent, bitter, metallic taste that can last for weeks after consumption. While this might seem merely annoying, for seniors it can be devastating, as taste disturbances often lead to reduced appetite and nutritional decline. Studies show that up to 42% of affected individuals experience significant weight loss as a result. The syndrome appears to affect older adults at higher rates, possibly due to age-related changes in taste receptors and detoxification pathways. Pine nuts also contain particularly high levels of polyunsaturated fats that oxidize quickly, creating harmful compounds that promote inflammation throughout the body, which is particularly problematic for seniors already managing inflammatory conditions like arthritis. Their small size and slippery texture create a significant aspiration risk, especially concerning for older adults with swallowing difficulties or those taking medications that cause dry mouth, which is common in over 70% of seniors on multiple prescriptions. From a nutritional perspective, pine nuts contain enzyme inhibitors that can interfere with protein digestion at a life stage when protein absorption efficiency naturally declines. Even in pesto, their most common culinary application, the high oil content combined with pine nuts creates a calorie-dense food that can contribute to weight management challenges common after 65. Most concerning are emerging studies suggesting compounds in certain pine nut varieties may accelerate age-related macular degeneration, which is the leading cause of vision loss in seniors. These were the 4 nuts you should try to avoid after 65. By making informed choices about which nuts to include and avoid in your daily diet, you can significantly impact your health, energy, and cognitive function in your golden years. At the end, remember that small changes, consistently applied, yield remarkable results over time. Cashews. Cashews present a particular concern for seniors because of their surprisingly high carbohydrate content and glycemic impact. Unlike true tree nuts, cashews contain significantly more carbohydrates, about 9 grams per ounce, and fewer fiber-protective compounds. This creates a blood sugar response that can be problematic for the estimated 25% of adults over 65 with diabetes and the additional 48% with prediabetes. What makes this especially troubling is that cashews have a health halo effect, leading many seniors to consume them liberally without realizing they're potentially destabilizing their glucose levels. The shape of cashews, which is curved and smooth, also makes them one of the most commonly aspirated nuts among seniors, presenting a choking hazard that shouldn't be underestimated, particularly for those with swallowing difficulties. From a nutritional standpoint, cashews contain high levels of oxalates, which are compounds that can bind to calcium in the digestive tract, reducing calcium absorption, which is a significant concern for seniors already at risk for osteoporosis. These same oxalates may exacerbate kidney stone formation in susceptible individuals, with risk increasing substantially after age 60. The processing required for cashews presents another hidden issue. Cashews must be extensively processed to remove urushiol, the same toxic compound found in poison ivy, and this processing often involves high heat that damages their nutritional profile. Commercial varieties are frequently oil-roasted and heavily salted, adding unhealthy fats and sodium that can elevate blood pressure and increase cardiovascular strain. What many don't realize is that cashews also contain enzyme inhibitors that can interfere with protein digestion, which is particularly problematic for seniors who often already struggle with reduced digestive efficiency and protein absorption. The creamy texture that makes cashews so appealing also makes them easier to overconsume, potentially contributing to weight gain at a life stage when maintaining healthy weight becomes increasingly challenging. If you've been regularly consuming cashews, consider gradually replacing them with walnuts or almonds, which provide better nutritional profiles with fewer risks specifically relevant to aging bodies.